Hello, and thank you so much for filling in the questionnaire that I put on Facebook on Friday. Sorry it's taken a while to actually get this video done, but I was planning to contact everybody individually. And when I saw Friday night that I had nearly 100 people that had filled in the little survey, I thought, golly, I can't actually pick up the phone and speak to everybody. So what I thought I would do is this video, which would hopefully answer some of the questions so that you can get some idea of what it is I'm looking for and what we're about. And then if it's something for you, then we can have a conversation. And one of the things I didn't do was to actually ask for your telephone number. I just did the email, and a lot of people couldn't put their telephone number on there, so I'm sorry about that. So my name is Louise Sells, and I work with holistic complementary therapists. We run an organisation called Phoenix Holistic Beauty and Nail Training, and I've been within the educational field for the majority of my working life. So if I could just tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about the business, and that will put it all into context for you, hopefully. So I started my career obviously as a beauty therapist, and went into teaching quite early on in my career, and was very fortunate to then become an examiner with City and Guilds, and was around when MVQs were first inaugurated, and was part of the verification team and external verifier. I escaped from further education, that's probably the best way to describe it, 20 something years ago, and set up Phoenix Holistic Beauty and Nail Training. And at the time we were very small, and we grew and we grew and we grew. We didn't have any funding at the time, which was what I was leaving further education for. We then got dragged back into funding, and 5 years ago I realised that the whole process just wasn't working for me anyway. One of those situations is, how on earth did I get here? So I started to look for a completely different way of working, and I wanted to meet the needs of my learners, who were predominantly adult returners, in more of a flexible way. Now, we had always worked very flexibly. We ran school term time, school day hours. We tailored the learning for adult returners, but even so, it still wasn't flexible enough. And I didn't want to compromise on the amount of practical work that we give our learners. We had got to a point where we were very well known in the area for producing quality therapists, and even our 16 to 19-year-olds really came out with a really, really good work ethic, and a lot of salon owners would contact us, and we would have a nice sort of stream of people through, which was great for recruiting for them. So I didn't want to compromise on that, but I really wanted a support process, and the biggest support is the anatomy and physiology and the background. So I went about starting to look for what I could integrate into my courses so that I could cut down the amount of time that we delivered in the classroom, because we were having a lot of problems, like a lot of training organisations do, with our adults had to take time off because of their children. Our 16 to 19-year-olds took time off because they take time off. And there was a lot of sickness, a lot of mental health issues going on that obviously I couldn't sort of really help. So I started looking for some resources around anatomy and physiology, and couldn't find anything that I was happy with. There were some things out there, but a lot of the courses that I found were PDFs online, and I couldn't really see how the difference was with buying a textbook and reading it. So I set about creating my own set of anatomy and physiology resources, and 5 years on, I have actually now done it. It's taken me a very long time. I've had to learn a lot of new skills, and it's working really well. So we've been piloting it with our complementary therapy students, our body massage and our skincare therapists for the last 18 months, and we've had all the feedback from them. We've had phenomenal results. It really does work, and it really does help learners learn, and that's the important thing about it. So I'll put a link in here so that you can have a little look at what it is that I have created, but that's in my other business, which is Therapy Learning Resources. So back to Phoenix and what I'm looking for at the moment. So Therapy Learning Resources has this awesome, awesome set of anatomy and physiology products and other things as well that Phoenix uses. Now, Phoenix is a City and Guilds regulated college, and what we want to be able to do is offer our users, so the therapists that are wanting to upskill themselves, or entry to industry people coming in that want to gain regulated qualifications. So the idea is that people will purchase this online course and they can buy it at 3 levels. So they can either buy what we call a buy and fly. So basically that means they just buy it. So thank you very much. And that is really designed for people that are actually going through a training program somewhere else, so that they have got this as a resource that they can use and they don't really need us. Then the middle section is what we use for our learners, which is what we call our community. And they come into a weekly Zoom call revision session. They're in the Study Buddy Anatomy and Physiology Facebook group, and they're also in a private WhatsApp group as well. And Michelle and I look after those learners. So that's important, because when I tell you what I'm looking for, that might be something you can feed into as well. Then the third one is our Study Buddy. So these are for people that really want their hand held all the way through their learning. So they've got the resources, but they just need to learn how to learn, and they need to be drip fed and directed. So that's another level as well. And all 3 of those culminate in sitting the City and Guilds Evolve, which is an online exam. So the first thing I'm looking for is for some people in the industry that can manage this process for me. So if I have a learner that contacts me from Scotland and they say, look, I need to get this level 3 anatomy, physiology and pathology qualification underneath my belt because I need to go on to work with other training providers, and this is what my insurance company has said, then they can come into the 3 levels, whichever works for them, and then they can go to a centre somewhere near them to sit the online exam. So I don't want them to have to come down to Chelmsford, to fly, to drive, to stay overnight. I want them to be able to do the exam there. And that's what the Evolve online exam was first set up to do. Now, I don't actually know whether this is true, but the story I heard was that the Evolve platform was created to give people in the armed forces the opportunity of gaining qualifications. So the online exam is downloaded onto the laptop, and then you take the laptop into the trenches or into the working environment. The learner takes the exam in the exam setting, so that is that there has to be private. They aren't able, to have access to any notes or any posters on the wall or anything that would give them any help or guidance. They don't have their phones, they can't phone a friend. It's quiet, it's comfortable, and there's a good internet connection. Although, having said that, you can download the exam onto a laptop and then take it somewhere where there is no internet connection. Allow the learner to take it, and then when you get back to an internet source, you upload it back up to City and Guilds, and it gets marked, and then it comes down onto my portal. So the first line is I'm looking for people that can engage with us as part of our organisation to be assessment sites where I can signpost the learner. So I'm thinking this is probably a salon that would just like an extra client. So most of my learners take about 45 minutes to take their exam, but I believe that they are given 2 hours, although nobody's ever taken 2 hours. And we're charging a flat fee of £30. So that's what it would be. It was £30 and an hour's of your time. So what would happen is you would be on our website with your contact details, and the learner would contact you when they've got their certificate. So they take the online exams with us, which are 12 body systems, and they have to get 80% in each system. That generates an electronic certificate. So they'd have to then send you the electronic certificate to prove that they've done it. You would then need to just send me an email to say, this person, are they really a person that's enrolled already? Because they have to be enrolled with City and Guilds. What I then do is I liaise with the learner, I register them, and then I send you the login codes. So you have to download the software onto your PC. And what you would do is you literally open it up, put the key code in, and then when the learner turns up into your treatment room, you sit them in front of it. They will already have done the tutorial, so they'll already be familiar with the how you go backwards and forwards and flag questions and this, that and the other. You then give them the little code that they put in that opens it up. They sit and they do it on their own, probably about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then they click the exit, and that is it, job done. You don't need to do anything more than that, and we then take over. So if that's something that you could help us out with, and you're willing to give up an hour of your time for £30, the learner pays you directly, then when you click the landing page, I'm going to give you the link for, you just need to click the box that says affiliate. Assessment site. The second one is an affiliate, because I do know that there are training organisations that would like to offer this as a product in its own right for their learners to do. So that's something that we can do with you in collaboration as well. And obviously you would receive an affiliate fee for the sale of the product. And we can take that a little bit further as well, because the other resources that we've got are anatomy and physiology at level 2 for a manicure, for skincare. So if you want to use those resources in your training, I don't want to control the way in which you're doing your training at all. So you would use our resources, which we have got accredited for insurance purposes to be embedded with other training courses. But City and Guilds don't do a standalone level 3 anatomy and physiology course. Otherwise, I would have already got that accredited. VTCT do. So if you are working with VTCT, then you could use our training resources for your qualification under your organisation. So there's another opportunity there. And so the second button will be affiliate and reseller. So if that's something of interest to you, then click that button. So then moving on a little bit, for people who are already trainers and educators, you don't have to have a salon, but you have to have been a trainer and educator. If you want to run training from your own salon, then that's something that we can work with you. We can work at 2 different levels. So we have our entry to industry massage and entry to industry skincare, which has been accredited, which covers all the practical modules as well. And if you want to work with us to do the practical training, so the way in which it works at the moment, and we're about to start a massage online e-learning programs. The way in which it works, it's blended completely. So you have the first, we're doing it in 10 weeks, where the learner signs up to a program and has open access to all of the information. And then a weekly Zoom call where Michelle, who's my educator, but we need some other educators as well moving forward. So that's an opportunity for you. So you'd click the Skills Mentor box. Need to be guided and supported through the practical side of it. So it could be just by keeping in touch with somebody, or it could be actually having them into your salon to practice some skills. And then the assessment of that is done through obviously face-to-face, and we need to be able to see what you're doing, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and be able to sort of guide them and support them. So that's level 1, and they then after that receive a certificate of achievement, which is insurable. And the next level up from that is if they then wanted to go on and take their regulated City and Guilds qualification, that is then another opportunity. So if you have an assessor's qualification, if you've been in college before, if you are just starting up a training organisation, if you're in a salon, but actually you really miss that nurturing and guidance, and you want to be able to offer a regulated qualification, we only are engaging with this, with the skincare and the massage, because they are stepping stones to something else. So we would do that. But everything that we offer meets the regulatory requirements for the level 2 skincare and facial treatments and the level 3 body massage. I think that's it. Just wrote some notes there, just want to double check. So assessment site for therapists that just want an extra client on their books and happy to give up an hour of their time for £30. The affiliate reseller for any training organisations that would, in actual fact, a therapist in a salon could also be a reseller thinking about it. There's no reason why you couldn't add that onto your treatment menu, get an anatomy and physiology qualification. But I'm thinking really it's more likely to be for training organisations. Skills mentor, I mentioned with the anatomy and physiology, there is a study buddy option for people to select. And if that's the case, then we are going to be wanting more study buddies. So people that will actually engage. So there is a fee that they pay in addition to. So that fee goes directly to the study buddy. There's also some other things around that as well. If you love anatomy and physiology and you've got a great way of teaching something, I'd love to hear from you, because we need additional study buddies in our Facebook group to actually teach. So at the moment in the study buddy group, we are just posting posts, information, great pictures, but I want to include some actual practical revision sessions and some teaching sessions. So I'm getting my my little office here set up as a teaching environment, so I can have my whiteboard on the side. But if you've got an iPad with a pen, you can draw some diagrams. You can even have a camera overhead to a pad of paper and translate. So if you are an educator and you've got an innovative way of teaching anatomy and physiology, then why don't you join us? Because I would love to reward you by sharing your skills as well. And together we can be a phenomenal force in increasing the knowledge and skills that this industry has got to really put it on the map. Anyway, so I'm going to be quiet now and I'm going to stop this video because I've waffled on for quite long enough, and I hope you haven't switched off already. So in the email that I send you that this video was linked to will be a couple of links. One of those is a landing page for you to just register your interest so that we can then have a conversation as to what we do next, how we get you on our website, and how we get the training for doing the Evolve. And also a link to the therapy learning resources page as well, because I'd love you to have a little look around that and see whether that's something that either you can engage with or you know anybody that would like that. So my tagline, or my sort of my mantra for this year, coming out of lockdown and moving forward, is help us, help you, help others. That sounds like a government website blurb. I hope it doesn't. I hope to work with you soon. Take care.